Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. It is Thursday, I know that. It's 10 after 6 on February 18th, 2016. I shot a quick update video for you guys about 2 days ago and then just got swamped and haven't had a chance to put it on the computer. I do have a series of videos I need to a series of videos I need to edit and upload, which is the conclusion, the updates and conclusion of that Napa project when I was doing the bathroom tile and the floor and the trim and all that stuff. And I'll get it up there. I transferred it from this Contour Roam onto the Mac, and I don't know where it went, I'll be honest with you. I spent about 13 seconds trying to look for it, but normally that stuff dumps directly into iMovie, and I transferred all the files, what I thought was into iMovie. And then, of course, it erases the SD card when all said and done. So it's somewhere on there, or on the backup disk, or on the little ghost drive thing that I run. I don't know where it is. I don't know what the names of the files were, or the numbers, because they erased them off this Roam. I'll figure it out and I'll put it up there. I'll edit it. I'm going to try to get everything wrapped up into one video from where I left off on my last video, and just conclude it out with like a 7 or 8 minute video. That video series just doesn't get a lot of interest, and it's a lot of time and effort for me to make these videos and update them and put them up, and then, you know, not a lot of people watch them, and that's cool. I appreciate everybody that does watch them, but I also understand that people like watching me fabricate things and weld and build and sawmill stuff, which I haven't honestly touched the sawmill since October or so, or November. The weather just hasn't been there. It's been rainy, it's been cold, and it gets dark at like 4:30, and everything's outside, so it is what it is on that one. I'll get back on that one soon here, in another next month or so. I should be out there wrenching on that. I got a few other things I just need to get handled. Life gets in the way of YouTube sometimes. So I shot this update video a couple days ago and never got around to putting the video on my Mac and getting it uploaded, but I'm going to do that right now. Right now. So what do you guys think about this, huh? Beard enthusiast? Huh, Jimbo? I just haven't had the time, effort, want, or desire to shave, quite honestly, since about the middle of December. So I'm going to roll with it for like a biscuit. This is probably the longest I've ever let it get in my entire life. And that's cool, and that's alright. I'm going to let it go. Probably, I'll say this now out loud, I don't know if this is really going to be the deal. I'm going to let it go until the weather gets warm and then it gets really uncomfortable. I was doing some work last week. If you check my Facebook page, you'll see a big tile job I just got done with last week. And man, it was hot, and I was not digging the beard, but this week it's cold and rainy, so it's kind of nice having an extra layer. And I'm almost to the point where I can wax it into little hoo-haws here on the end, and my kids just shake their head and they're like, Dad, that is not a look for you. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to wax it into big old like this, and then I'll walk into school on one of my tech days. Yeah, we got the musical coming up in April, so I'm technical director once again for that, so that'll take just about all and any remaining spare time I ever thought I might have. But that's cool. It's alright. I have a lot of fun. I've got 22 kids. Good kids so far. I'm having a lot of fun with that. But anyhow, let's get up and on with this update video, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Here's a little fun project I picked up just a couple days ago. A friend of mine's a plumber who's retiring and closing his shop up, and I was giving him a hand kind of cleaning things out. He was selling a bunch of stuff went to scrap. He was over there grabbing a few things, or he gave me a few things. I said no to a bunch of things because I really could have brought stuff home. He's selling it off, so he's basically just gutting the place. It's more than likely going to be a tear down. It's been a dirty old plumbing shop from day one, and it's got some structural issues, so likely it'll get knocked down and developed. So he had this thing hanging from the rafters. This is the way it was oriented, with the 8-inch stack just stubbed up through a roof jack in the roof. You can see there's tar on there. And it was hanging by these bolts on this piece of unistrut right here. These unistrut pieces were bolted to the two by 12s. And I got stuff falling everywhere. Oh man, poor truck. Oh, just finished up another tile job. Anyhow, I got crap everywhere. Hold on a sec here. Yeah, These were bolted to the 2x12s, and then this tray set on here was nut and bolted in. And they would plug it in and fire it up and just ventilate the shop, and it moves pretty good air. This squirrel cage assembly was pulled out of a furnace that probably from the 50s. He couldn't remember exactly, but it doesn't have bearings. It's got these oil caps, right? It's bushings and oil caps and on either side, and the pulley system. And this is a modern motor. This is a 1/2 horsepower, nice motor actually. When you plug it in, it's got a soft start to it, so this thing spools up real nicely. So you may ask yourself, what are we going to do with this thing? Well, it was too cool to just leave there in the rafters and let the scrap metal guys haul it off for scrap. So I had two thoughts. My first thought is I could take it up to El Rancho and hang it from the rafters in the hay barn where the 46 lives and use it as ventilation down there. It has to orient in this position because the oil caps, right, the grease caps are up top. And things get a little stinky down there with the cattle, and on the summer days when it gets kind of warm down there, this might be a nice ventilation system for it. The other option I had was to build a box coming off of this thing, and it would be about, and that's 12.5 by 27 by, we'll call it 20. I'd put wheels on it. I'd cut a hole in the side, probably this side, to be able to slide filters in and use it as, and paint it up nice and pretty, of course, but use it as an air handling system for work situations. I have one now made by Rigid, and it's basically like an inline fan that's in this cylinder, and it's got a HEPA filter. Well, it's kind of not really a HEPA filter, but it's got a filter on the intake side, and it's supposed to take dust out of the air. It's nice and quiet, but it's pretty passive. It's got about an 8-inch four-blade plastic fan like you'd find in a stove range hood type thing, and it works. It doesn't have the best draw because it's just kind of a wimpy little device, but it works. I've used it for several years, and it's an older one, but it works well, and it's really easy to move around, which is kind of handy. This one would be a little bit big, but the draw on this would handle so much more cubic feet per minute than that little Rigid torpedo fan that I have. And then this is an 8-inch outlet, so I'd put a 90 or something on here, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm leaning towards that because I may be able to come up with other fans down the road that would work for the barn, and the barn would just be kind of nice to have, not really a need to have. This would be really handy to have, and if I went with a bigger pulley on the drive motor, it would speed this squirrel cage up and give me some more cubic feet, and I really think it'd be able to handle and exchange the dusty air better. Little dusty fellas. The shed, I brought home just a few things. I really tried not to bring home a bunch of crap, but I got a bucket of plumbing parts. These are going to go up to the ranch. I've got some old school ballcock flush valves, tank valves for a toilet. That's super old and very cool. And some shut-off valves and stuff. Angle stops I'll just put there as inventory of things to have. Some gas valves, just stuff he was getting rid of or throwing away. Really cool piece of rail train track from 1934 is the date stamped in here. I don't know how well you can see that, if you can. That'll be nice to beat my head on. I always need a good chunk of steel to beat my head on. A cool little benchtop grinder. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I probably won't use it as a grinder, but it's old school and it's fun. Check out this shower head he had laying around. This is just insane. The size of that thing. It's a Speakman Any-Stream Model 1 Genuine, made in the USA. Yeah, buddy. Look at that thing. Holy crap. He had two pipe vices that he had. Oops, sorry, got you all spun around. He had these two pipe vices that he had bolted to a workbench in his shop. Scrapper was coming to get those. I said, oh, no, you're not. So one will stay here, one will go up to El Rancho. It's always nice to be able to get a good grip on some round stock. I got a bunch of bits. This stuff's worth money, and this is all going to the scrapper. Coring bit. This is like 2 and I don't have a tape measure handy, but it's like 2 1/4 or 2 1/2. I forget exactly what it was. Carbide tip, concrete bits. That's a monster. All just going to the scrap. I just couldn't bear to let it go. So I grabbed all the concrete ones. He had a bunch of wood ones, the old twist bit, wood boring things, but I don't do a whole lot of real long ones. I don't run plumbing. I gotta say no to a few things. Some old tips. Oh, check this out. This is a cool old cast iron pipe cutter, chain cutter. And the cutting wheels are in really, really nice shape. I think this will do up to 4 or 6 inch. I couldn't let that go to scrap. Everything's everything's in a bloom. I gotta kind of thin things out here a little bit. The rain's been fantastic for the foliage, and the bees are doing lovely, lovely. This was the nuke that I split off, and they're doing fantastic. They really are. This one I already put a honey box on. Oh, sorry buddy, you're blocked. Oh, okay over there. Yeah, those are the little rain shields, right? Those are the things I put on top of the hives to kind of keep the water out of the front of the hive. And I went in them. Uh-oh, she got stung. What are you doing? She messes with the bees and then she wonders why. Actually, she probably didn't get stung. She wonders why they attack her. She's not very smart on that aspect, but I got into these guys a couple days ago for the first time in probably 3 months that I actually had done a hive inspection, and I kind of wanted to make an inspection in there because I'm not quite sure when they're going to start building queen cells. They already have drones. Dude, you are going to get nailed, and it's going to be on camera. I did notice they do have, each hive has a pretty good inventory of drones, so they must already feel it's time to ramp up the fertilization season. And like I said, these 2 boxes on the right, that's the older hive. That one was just packed, so I threw an extra box on top. Since we're kind of done with our cold weather, we're probably going to get quite a bit more rain, hopefully, so they say, but the worst of our cold weather is the worst of our cold weather is behind us. And I'm pretty close to opening up these entrance restrictors. Yeah, buddy, you're very cool. Cleo, oh, come down. She found some skunks up there the other day. They were hiding in a hollowed out log, a log that had rotted out. And it's about a 15-foot long piece of eucalyptus log that fell probably 20 years ago. And I peeked in there with a flashlight because she was intently digging and trying to get into the trunk, and I saw 3 little skunk faces looking back at me. So we went inside. I'll leave them alone as long as they're on the back side of the property there. Let's go take a look. So the skunks are way back here in the back side of the property, and I honestly don't really care. They don't bother me. They haven't bothered the dog, and they eat bugs and grubs, and they're pretty good for the ecosystem because the owls get them now and again, and the coyotes and stuff. So this log is actually probably only about 12 feet long. They get in through there, and you come around back here. Here's their secret entrance. And Cleo's way too big to get in there, so they were like right about here, 1/3 of the way down, looking right back at me. Huh, buddy? Threw a bunch of stuff away, just trying to kind of reclaim and clear this space here in front of the woodshed. The skunks hide out under there actually, but there's the old 73. I got the scissor jack under that front right because that's got a slow leak. It's leaking at the bead, so it's just a matter of me pulling the tire off the rim, cleaning it up, and putting it back on. I don't want it to squish the sidewall and crack the rubber, so for the interim I just put a little sizzler jack under there and we're all good. Alright, so there you go. Quick update. Like I said, I try to keep it short, but I'll go off on these tangents and have stories and whatnot. So, anywho, me and the beard, we gotta go, we gotta run. See ya!